Hey guys, welcome to another session of Epic 7. This is going to be a different video. I don't usually do this. It's almost like a vlog. This is going to be centralized around Ambition season, the World Arena season that just ended. At the time of this recording, it ended last night at 8 p.m. my time. I basically, the entire season I was holding champion, or sorry, not champion, Emperor. I was maintaining it, and on the very last hour, I choked and I got into champ, and then this story also leads up to one of my heroes, which you guys might not think he's a hero, but to me he was a hero. But basically, I wanted to achieve Emperor. If you guys follow me on YouTube and you know my actual, I guess if you call it an Epic 7 career, I guess, but the entire time you've been following me, you know, I've never really hit really high in World Arena. I've always managed to, you know, just stay in champ at around like 200 games or so. Maybe less than that. All seasons combined, I think that this season for Ambition, because I wanted to achieve Emperor, I did have to put in a lot more games. I think I'm nearly at 500 games. So it ended up meaning a lot more to me than I thought it would. So basically throughout the last day, I was like streaming some of my, because it was technically a work day for me. I was streaming some of my my fights in my guild Discord in the voice chat, and you know, I got a couple losses there, but then I mainly got positive or net wins, right? So net points, it was positive. But at the very last hour, because near the end, the points went up, like skyrocketed a lot. For those who are listening to this and you're experiencing that, either you were an Emperor or a Legend, you know what I'm talking about. The inflation of the points went up so fast. And so like I think I calculated it was like a 52, I would drop 52 ranks per hour, and that was increasing by the hour. I think it ended up being like 53 or 54 ranks per hour, by just like you not playing. So like you could be sitting at like rank 400 in Emperor, and then by near the end you would be out. So basically the last hour I decided to put the last 1.5 hours I decided to push more. And then I started choking, and then ended up like booming. I ended up losing, like, you know, like 5-6 matches in a row, and I was knocked out of champion, rank like one. I think the lowest I got was like rank 1,200, which is really far. As you would have to climb a lot more. And then it got to like the last like 20 minutes or so. My guildmates are saying that I don't think you can make it, Jagan. And I honestly didn't think I could make it too, like by my performance, and then the pressure got to me, and that kind of compounded. And again, I've never had this experience. I've never really played World Arena this far into a season, and so it was really tough for me. And then that pressure of like, oh, I'm not performing well. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to ban. I didn't know what to force. I didn't know what to like first pick and stuff. And my guildmates were like there and really supported, really helping. Other people in our Discord were also there watching, and yeah, they tried to keep it positive, but it was hard for them to watch too. I think they were saying like, oh man, it's so hard to watch, because they knew I couldn't make it. So really, I wanted to give a big shout out to this hero. At the very end, around like the last like 15 minutes, Tatsuni, one of my guildmates, and if you guys are, you know, follow me on YouTube and stuff, you know who he is, or if you're around, you know who he is. He was just like, Jagan, I think you have to cleave, right? You have to cleave, and you have to do it fast. Like you need fast fights. And this was like when I was starting to win again. So again, like I was like a rank like 1,200, and then another one of my guildmates who hit Legend last season, Artorio. He was like, Jagan, okay, you need 4 wins, right? Like we're at this point where like, okay, I need 4 wins. Like he knew how to calculate the points and stuff like that. And then so I'm on these wins, and it was, the scary part was, it was the last minute. It was like one of those like really dramatic moments, and honestly, it's not BS, because I'll show you guys a screenshot. And so I queue into the last fight. So I'm on a win streak. I'm cleaving through it. Queue into this last fight. And then yeah, I'll post the screenshot here. So this guy named Nastyplot from Asia server queues into me, and I get first pick. So I'm like, okay, I'll pick Bellion. But I was planning to cleave. It's just I wanted to cleave with Bellion. and then he drafts a like level 50 fire CC, and the whole guild was like, what the heck, go, and I'm like, and as I'm waiting for him to pick, I'm like typing in the Discord, I'm like, who is this, like I thought it was someone like in the Discord like trying to help because he saw me suffering or whatever, and he was like, you know, trying to queue in. But this Nastyplot was completely random person, and it was just like incredible. And so he picks Fire CC, he picks Alencia, and then you know he's not serious because he's not counter picking mine. And so I'm just like, you can see like I was just like drafting all the dark heroes I had. I think I had it sorted by CP. And he continued to draft Earth as well, because I think he knew that the time was up too. So and then obviously, you know, I cleaved, I won. I don't think all of his heroes were like fully geared. Most of them died in one shot. Some I think took strays or something. But then I got into Emp, and I was like shaking, you know, like this is like a miracle. And again, I was still asking even after everybody was like, what the frick, like that's like, you know, they were saying congrats Jake and stuff like that, because they saw I think they saw the losses, they saw my soul lead. I mean, they didn't really see it, I guess, because I don't face cam, but they can see the decision making I was doing. They can see I was choking, like even just watching me perform in the game. And they were like, you know, I think it was like this kind of like the underdog story, right? Even though I didn't deserve it, I really didn't deserve this, because the thing is, like, there's always going to be players who were in my situation, whether they're in Legend and they got knocked out to Emperor and they couldn't get back into Legend, or like me wanting to get into Emperor but they got knocked to Champ and they couldn't get back in. I was one of them, so I have like complete sympathy for that. For players like that who wanted to achieve a goal and they couldn't get it, especially choking on the last minute. I was very devastated. And then this Nastyplot came in, and you have to understand how incredibly, it's a miracle. It's honestly a miracle. He had absolutely no affiliation with the guild at all. He ended up joining my Discord after the fact. After the match, he joined my Discord. I even asked in my Discord, like Epic 7 general chat, I'm like, does anybody of you here go by the name Nastyplot? Like, if it is, please DM me, right? Because I really wanted to thank him. And then he joined the server after I said it, and I had a conversation with him. I had a Discord conversation. He said that his drafting, he wanted to emulate one of the RTA streamers. I won't mention the name, but if you guys know the drafting, or at least the heroes, you'll know who he's trying to emulate. As a joke, that's what he was doing. But yeah, he said that he recognized my name, and he just ended up like, because I think he said he was like, I think ranked 200 or something Emperor, so he was very, very safe. So he's just like, oh yeah, it was the last minute, so he saw my name and he just donated. I think he donated to other people too. So very, very generous, and honestly, like, it was absolute luck. It was absolute luck. I think the way I climbed, I think you can see in the screenshot there, I think I was out on 5 consecutive wins, which again, I think it was like, as soon as Tatsuni told me, you guys gotta start cleaving, I think I don't know how to explain it, but the, like, you know sometimes when you're choking on something, like it's because of the pressure that's built. I think it's just because I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm gonna make it anyway, I'm gonna cleave, and I ended up just queuing into players that like ended up not being able to deal with cleave, or didn't see my cleave coming, or, you know, I got lucky, and there's a lot of variables. It's basically, but the capstone was definitely Nastyplot. So really big shout out to Nastyplot. It was a miracle. It was a miracle. So I really didn't deserve Emperor this season. But it was a rough night. I ended up, of course, being like full of joy too, because I think it's not even just the Emperor part. It was just because of how I achieved the Emperor with that luck. It was just pretty crazy. For the rest of the video, I'm gonna show you guys one RTA fight that I had success with Milim. But even before then, I'll show some of the builds that I ended up changing for World Arena. So this wasn't included in the video that I posted a couple weeks, 2 weeks ago. Just in case. So I did have to rebuild heroes to adapt to the end of the season, because Rimuru ended up being like super strong, and he was really tough to deal with. So you had to have like counters. So I had to adjust a couple heroes to be able to adjust to the meta. So it was. I'll show Rimuru first. So this ended up being my Rimuru. If you guys watch my summon videos, it was I did get really lucky on it. So it was a max limit broken artifact, but I ended up using this because I didn't draft him a lot. Because I didn't really learn how to use him that well. But when I did use him, this artifact still worked. Otherwise, I would prefer Draco Plate. This was Max Mola after I realized that he's legit good damage. I max molded him. These are the stats. Yes, I am running a health set. So with the speed I'm at, it's pretty hard to counter like a Ran Caesarea cleave, because I don't make the cut usually. And Caesarea can still soul burn, dispel, and then still place a bomb on you. So you'll still have like one hero like stunned. But in terms of like a damage, I think he was okay. I did go on pen set. And mainly I wanted pen set, but I also wanted immunity. So this was like the middle ground. I had to put him on something like a double set, but I was at max crit because this is a crit rate neck. So I'm like, oh, health set. So these are like world boss health sets. I don't farm golem, but these are like from a long time ago. And heck, I mean, if you are like me, your golem reforged match should be like, almost at 10,000 or something like that. Just because of how many expos we had, but you had to do the expos, but you don't have any golem gear to reforge. So yeah, this ended up being the build I went to. And then Milim, I'll show you guys the Milim here. So in the fight that we will watch, or at least I'll show you that I used her. This is the Milim I'm at right now. She is at A imprint, and I felt that she was a max Mola hero. I actually ran out of Mola for this one, I think, so I can't do it. Yeah, so this one needs 5. I have 4 left. In the fight I was using her with Warhorn because I didn't know what to use, but then Tatsuni had been using Milim in his legend climb, and he's had really good success. So it was like it was counter pen set Milim, and he was using Symbol Unity. So I swapped her, and you're only seeing this after the fact. So she wasn't on Symbol when I used her to win, but she is now. I'm gonna be looking into a counter build. So the RTA fight that you'll watch wouldn't be like an extensive showcase of Milim. I guess if I'm gonna make a showcase video on her, I'll probably do it during the preseason, which is right now. What else did I? Oh yeah, so I built Ruel. She was like definitely needed with LQC, A Ravi, Rimuru mainly. She's very, very needed for single target nukers to prevent. So like they wouldn't be able to ban easily. So so what's funny was that in the Ambition full account showcase, my Ruel had 0 Mola on the S2, and because of how the meta shifted, I had to rebuild her. And the other thing was just to actually mold her. And then I ended up actually being needed. And she did. I think she did. She didn't really help my last hour climb as much because I choked on the drafting, but she did help to maintain a couple of the last week because of Rimuru. This artifact, honestly, I don't know if this would be the go-to here. I only have 1 crystal, so Amelia's artifact, but apparently that artifact is really, really good on her. I think Potion Vial could have saved me a couple games too, so I should really, really thought about it, but I haven't used Ruel a lot, so not a lot of experience with her. And then Specteni I also rebuilt. I rebuilt her for so some people have used this kind of Specteni pen set, no immunity, because the idea is that if they like draft Rimuru, draft A Ravi, which were really top first picks, then maybe you have a Bellion and then you can pick Specteni depending if they have like only a healer and single target heroes. So either she becomes a force ban, or if she goes through, she just kills targets really quick. So that was the idea of this kind of Specteni. I don't think I got to use her, but I mean, just looking at the stats, I feel that that's enough damage. It should be enough damage. It should be pretty good damage. The 206 speed would be pretty good as well, just to be able to. So again, realistically, it's in a fight where she cannot be reached. So don't be judging the defense and the health and the non-immunity. That's when you draft her. At least that's the theory craft. So I built her this way just for the last day, and I didn't think I used her, but I did draft her, but she got banned because she was the right ban. Like they had no reach. And then LQC, definitely very strong. A new LQC. So if you compare to my original speed set immunity set one, it's a lot slower. I think it's like I'm like 15 speed slower than my previous build, but a lot more powerful. So defense I dropped a bit, more health. So EHP about the same, but crit damage I gained like an additional like 60 something, and attack I dropped about 700. But she is on pen set now compared to what she was on before. This one could be maxwell to a 9 health, which is pretty high scaling on her. So I mean, if I have some spares, I'd probably roll it. Yeah, so I'm just showing the stats here. This chest piece was like one of those like weird ones when I rolled it. I'm like, oh man, like who is gonna use this? And it ended up being like these heroes needing these double sets. So Rimuru could use this too, if I wasn't on a health set and not on a crit rate neck. But yeah, so ended up being okay. She nuked out a Robbie through on Hellcutter stack too, because I pushed with Amelia. A very high HP A Robbie with a FCC full barrier, and of course Aureus, and I think it was Draco Plate on the A Robbie, and it still one shot through it, so it was pretty good. Did like 24,000 damage after the barrier damage. So with if the barrier was like 2,000, did like 26,000 damage. It's pretty good. Hellcutter stack 2. So yeah. So those are my builds, at least the changes for the last of the season, and then we'll just end the video with the fight with Milim. Right, so this was one of the fights that I had during those last hours. This one is this not a really, I guess, a Milim showcase, but I definitely use Milim, and since Milim is new, I thought it would be, you know, kind of interesting to watch it. Rimuru is banned here, pre-banned. He ended up being too strong. Now, a lot of people didn't know how to deal with him, or felt really hard to deal with him, since like copying buffs is pretty big, and his fixed damage is huge. Combined with his S2, he could take out a target pretty easy. So Bellion also became like one of those really annoying to deal with heroes in this meta. Very strong ML5. Very fitting for the boss hero in terms of Strays, Arshim, Shadow. She definitely fits that criteria.
Now isn't the time to hesitate.
So Krau, Landy, and A Robbie. I don't know about Krau into Indri Bellion though, usually, but I think he just needed mitigation. Yeah, as I was doing this, I had a couple of the guildmates like watching and even helping, because I think this was already part of the streak that I was starting to lose or starting to choke. It got worse, of course, as the timer or as the end was drawing near. I choked more until the last, like I've already explained, until the last like 5 fights. Minus Nastyplot. Yeah, Violet usually picked into Bellion, since it's like, okay, you can't avoid him, so likely he'll dodge, he'll counter, and kill the Bellion really quick. So I'm thinking that he'll probably do a Rem here. Usually people double with Rem and Violet versus Bellion. So well, I think at this point, yeah, I was gonna go with Senya. That's how I've dealt with 2 of them before, those 2 before. But I think Tatsuni was here. He already had really good success with Milim in a legend climb, and we ended up with a Falcon Clear, which is very odd. I guess it was just to counter the Rylet, or really anything, pin down the Amelia. So I was like, oh. Like he's like, oh, this is a Milim fight, right? Pick Milim and then ban Flurry. So Milim is really good with mitigation. I think ideally with mitigation with barrier. So either FCC or you've got double mitigation with like Rise of Monarch or something like that. Very, very strong with that. And then with Amelia as well. So it was like the perfect... it ended up being the perfect... It was interesting that he did not ban the Milim, even though like... I guess he thought like, oh, I can Crow Horse. But that's the thing, like with Bellion on injury, Crow Horse doesn't really do much. So yeah, my Milim, as you saw, it was on immunity, on speed set. I had tried her early on after I pulled her in some mock battles, and I was kind of underwhelmed with her damage on counter set, so I made her speed set. So I wasn't really confident, but I think counter set would be for the longer play. Yeah, right here, that was a pretty bulky one. So it's 15,000 HP, but more than that, so 18,000 HP Landy. So it wasn't really due to the lack of damage on Milim. Also, I wasn't on Symbol of Unity there. So Symbol of Unity, the extra 16% damage could have one-shot the Landy, but everybody started bulking up on the last day in terms of like damage. Sorry, HP. Got pretty lucky with a couple dual attacks there.
Everything in Felicia is under my control.
It was really good. I got the provoke on Violet, and obviously the play here was like Milim hard counters, but we had to make sure we had enough injury stack onto Crow, otherwise she could still be one shot. But she's pretty good. I think like into Violet and Landy's, like it's pretty safe. That S1 healing with the S1 self attack buff, so she can maintain her attack buff the entire time. If you don't kill her quick enough, that S2 does that AoE, very, very powerful. So I think if anything, like this is a good showcase of when to use Milim. It's just that I'm actually very surprised that she got let through. Like in terms of like Remnant Violet in her, which Tempest Day here is banned. Rylet would not be able to counter like Violet and Landy as hard. And yeah, so as long as Milim has the S3 or has the evasion, there is zero chance for Violet to hit her. But she has a decent opportunity to hit Violet, especially if you have Symbol of Unity or something that, you know, grants you hit chance, so Oath Key or something like that.
Now try me. Don't chicken out. My sword will pierce.
The Bellion is still his target. He knows that it's on injury, so you know hitting it is really good. But the Warhorn on Milim in this fight, I think, did sort of help. Although, because like I said, I was on Warhorn, so I was still missing Violet, as you can see, with the extra hit chance on her passive. Still missing Violet, of course. That AoE ended up being pretty strong, as you saw there, pretty nice. And basically I had to kill off the Crow here. And the dual attack there was very lucky, but I think he would have died by the second hit here. I think it's Incursion from Bellion. It is high effectiveness C Armin here, so I did provoke the Crow when I needed. So I don't have the evasion, so I mean her playstyle is like you want to keep that evasion up as fast as possible or as much as possible. So yeah, once the A-Robbie died there, again thanks to Bellion softening that, lowering that to max HP, it did really help. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna end this here because of Discord. Check out the Discord server. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.